Hey guys, welcome to CPL Fever. It's your host, Jack and Ijah Murray here, and today we are joined by one of York9's youngest ever signings, and he has a truly incredible story. And when I first heard that York9 signed him, I was so impressed with his speed. Ijah Halley.
Hi, nice to meet you. Thank you. I'm a big fan. I've been watching it, and I'm happy to be here.
And we're a big fan of yours, and we're so excited to be here chatting with you today.
Yes, I'm happy to tell my story and get these questions.
All right, so how did you come across and fall in love with the beautiful game of soccer?
Well, basically, I was in both my uncles played football or soccer, and he would come down, start kicking the ball with me, playing 1-2 touch, and I just became instantly in love with it. And I remember going home, just search up highlights and just watch players, and you're just inspired by that. And then from a young age, I just knew this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. I want to become a professional soccer player.
Cool. So where did your uncles play?
My uncles, one uncle's from Jamaica and one's from Canada. Well, my uncle's local, Brampton. He played teams like Aaron Mills and stuff like that. But my uncle used to play in a big tournaments in Jamaica and stuff like that. So.
Oh, yeah, really?
Yeah.
That's cool. Jamaica's got a great team.
Yeah. We have there's a lot of talent there. We have players like Leon Bailey who just came through, but we have a lot of young talent there. It's just that they just need the exposure to get out.
Yeah, I was just doing some research on the Reggae Boys before this interview, and I noticed that it's funny you mentioned Leon Bailey, because I just saw on the site that Alex Marshall has more caps with the Reggae Boys than even Leon Bailey, and that surprised me because he's signed with Halifax, right?
And,
yeah.
And Nicholas Hamilton signed with you guys, right? You also play with Alex Marshall. Yeah.
They're both good Jamaican players, and Leon Bailey is because for a while when he signed with Genk, it was a lot there was a lot of miscommunication between the two, but recently they just came to agreement, so that's why Leon Bailey's recently been playing with the Jamaican national team recently, as of the Gold Cup, I think a year or 2 years ago.
Right. Yeah. And it's a little harder for them to call them over, the ones that are playing in Europe, the guys that are playing in Europe.
Yeah.
A little bit more expensive and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Cool.
Jamaica doesn't have that much money like that.
Yeah. So your uncles, they just started playing with you and you just kind of fell in love with it, and it just kind of felt natural, felt right?
Yeah, I felt when I first started playing, of course you're not the best, but it's I always wanted to keep pushing myself and just keep going, becoming better, So I naturally fell in love with just improving, working hard. I fell in love with all of it, So I became in love with playing the games, the work that comes with the practice, everything, and over time you just appreciate the game more and more, and then I just grew up with it all the way up until now.
Yeah.
So where did you get your that drive to just kind of improve? Were your uncles always kind of pushing you to your limit so you get a little bit better?
Yeah, I always get a lot of inspiration from my dad, where he's a very hardworking person. My parents always tell me it's not where you are, it's where you're headed, So you may not be the best now, but you have to keep working it, because it's not it doesn't matter where you are, it's where you want to go. So if you want to get there, it's okay. You have to keep working. So I always kept that they always gave me that principle from a young age. So I always just carried it, where if I wasn't good at this, I'll just keep practicing to get that, because
nice.
Everybody has to work, you have to work to get what you want.
Yeah, I really like that. That.
Yeah, I really respect players that have a good strong work ethic. And,
and
really
need it.
Yeah, work ethic and having a good attitude is in my opinion some of the most important things for a soccer player, because sometimes people will just think it's all about technique or just all about the tactical stuff, but really work ethic and attitude are a huge factor in playing soccer as well.
Yeah, they are. It's a major factor, in fact, because if the coach sees that you don't want to put in that work, or you're not prone to listen, then he's going to see it already just displays your personality, because soccer is all about personality and mentality more than the tactics and the talent and everything. At the end of the day, most of the time the game is played up here and within your heart, So you need to be able to be I want to understand that if the coach wants me to do this, absorb the information and apply it to your game. You have to work hard, because if you don't work hard, you can never get what you want in life, you know? Even though you have the players who are very talented, even the greatest talented players had to work, you know, because that's part of the game. You have to reap what you sow, you know?
Yeah. So I like to ask players, you know, when did they start working on your weak foot? Like, when did you kind of make that decision? Oh, okay, I'm going to kind of this is my weak foot. I'm going to start, you know, doing more practicing with that foot and that sort of thing.
I think when I was like about around 11, 12, you know, because when you're younger, you don't really pay attention. You're just like, it's a weak foot, I don't want to use it. But as you get older, it's just like, I have to implement this, because you see, like, you just watch the role models, like the players that profess at the highest level, they use both feet. So then you learn that, okay, if I want to get there, I'm going to have to learn to use this foot also. So just repetition and keep using it. But around 12, 11, I just started doing keep ups with both feet. And I started just kicking the ball on the wall with my left foot and taking shots. There's muscle memory with my left foot.
Nice.
Yeah.
And when did it first cross your mind that you were headed towards becoming a pro?
Around, I would say, grade 10. That's where I think I came to myself, where I was just like, I think I'm in the right channel, I'm in the right avenue, because I feel like after that, in grade 10, I think it was a good transformation in my career, because I started to find my own game, you know? When you're before that, like, it's hard. When you're younger, you know, you have your game, but sometimes you change as you get older. But I think in grade 10, I felt like this is the playing style I like, and it's getting me places. People like it. I'm getting recognition. So I feel like around grade 10 to grade 11, that's when I started to absolutely get confident in myself and think, yeah, I can do this for sure.
Okay, that's interesting. So that's a good transition to your play style. What is the kind of game, when, like, explain the game where you're like, this is kind of the game I want to play?
My type of game is, like, I like to use my speed a lot. You know, I like to get the ball 1v1 with defenders and then get them off balance and then explode out of there for a cross or maybe a shot. Or I like to make runs behind, just implementing a lot of. I'm naturally gifted with speed, so why not use it? You know, so if I can make a run in behind, then I'm gonna try to make a run in behind. Or if I'm 1v1 with the defender, I'm not gonna be shy. I'm gonna try to go at him and take him 1v1 to beat him. So I like to be very direct, and I think I'm a very direct, creative type attacker or fullback.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
And you mentioned speed just there, and I was struck by how fast you were in your highlight reel. So how did you work on getting that speed? Because obviously you, like, some players are very fast, but you obviously had to work on it to get that fast. So what were some of the things that you did to get faster?
I felt like I just needed to work on a lot of the explosiveness when it comes to your hamstrings and your quads. So I remember I would try to, like, do a lot of repetitions when I was off season. I'd try to work on my quads, get a lot of muscles there, because speed is all about the explosion and the power you generate with each step. So I would try to fix that. I'm trying to actually focus more on my running form too, because it's still kind of wild to even get more faster. But I was just trying to work on my quads and my hamstrings and my glutes. Those are things that are going to generate the most power when you're sprinting.
And with that, you know, using those muscles there for explosive power, do you find that you need to do a lot of stretching or yoga or something to stretch them out?
Yeah, because when you're sprinting a lot, you're very prone to a lot of hamstring injuries. So you have to make sure you're eating right, you're having rest, you're just taking care of your body, because there's, as much as is important on the field, off the field is as important too, to make sure you have a long sustainable career. Yeah.
I really was interested in your time with the TFC Academy. You also were coached by Bennett Cheroux, right?
Yeah, but yeah.
Yeah, he's a great player, and we're both huge fans of him. So could you tell us a bit about learning from Cheroux?
Yeah, it was a great experience. He's by far one of my favorite coaches I've played with and learned from, as he was just he was all about having fun and being creative on the field, which is very ideal to my type of playing style. So I remember before games, he would just come to me and be like, Ijah, You get the ball, you see 1v1, you see a player, take him on. You lose the ball, it's okay. Be creative, you know, like, and that was inspiration to me, you know, and I think I learned a lot from him. And yeah, he's a great coach. He's a phenomenal player, great technique. He used to play soccer tennis with us, and he would beat us all the time. So yeah, he's a great coach, and he's a great player too.
Yeah, so that's interesting. So he was kind of encouraging you to take risks in the game, because I'm sure you've also had coaches that were more focused on winning, you know, in the present than kind of player development and kind of giving players the freedom to take risks and try to kind of beat that player on the dribble.
Yeah, like he was just, because he's from France, and you know, as the French national team, you can see they breed a lot of creative, innovative players like Dembele, Mbappe, Mahrez. So you could see that he learned that in France, and he tried to bring it here. So he wasn't afraid of players taking risk. And you know, some coaches, there's nothing wrong with it. They like to risk free and like play within the system, you know. But as for him, he was like, in the final third, you do your thing, you know, where you see 1v1, you take him on. You see a shot, you take it. It's okay. Football, you should enjoy it, you know. You shouldn't be stressing it, you know. So he always brought that philosophy, and I still try to bring it wherever I go to this day.
Yeah,
Nice.
he sounds like an amazing coach.
Yeah, he's an amazing coach. Yeah.
Now your speed also, I saw Angus McNabb post some kind of GPS tracker. Obviously he's tracking your run, and obviously that was really high. So are you like the fastest player on the team?
I think so. I think I don't look at everybody else's stats, but I think so. I think the other day I beat that last record too. I think my last one that Angus posted was 9.39, and
that's the one I saw.
Yeah, the other day I think I got like 9.88, so I broke that one. Yeah. So yeah. So but yeah, I think I'm probably the fastest on the team. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure, because I don't look at everybody's, but I'm pretty sure I think I'm the fastest on the team.
Well, whatever you're doing, it seems to be working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So when you were playing with the TFC Academy, what was that like? What did you learn there?
It was a great experience. You know, I feel like TFC, that whole experience, that environment really helped me have a good transition to York9, because TFC is a very professional academy. So before TFC, I would train like 2 times, 3 times, 4 times a week. But with TFC, it was you're touching the ball 6 times a week. It was training 5 times all week, Monday to Friday, match on the Saturday, and then you're off Sunday. Same thing we're doing with York9. So it was a good experience. You know, you learn a lot of characteristics and principles you need to carry as a professional. That's where I started working out a lot at TFC, because I never used to work out before. TFC showed me how to work out, proper diet plans, just aspects of the game you won't really see behind the closed doors, and they really show you that, and the professionalism and everything. So it was a great experience. I don't regret going there at all. It was a great.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do they and I guess they teach you a lot tactically too, with game tapes and different strategies and tactics on the field, right?
Yeah, but like before TFC, I wasn't that tactically aware or entwined, I would say, because you know, you don't do that with the youth level that much. Maybe now they do it, but when I was there, they didn't really do that much. So when you go to TFC, they would record your games, and then they'll bring you to a room, and then they'll show you like, hey, here you need to step on this guy. We press together. This is how we build out the block. This is how we build out the back. When we're 1-0 up, this is how we press. When we're 1-0 down, this is how we press. When we're trying to control the game, we're trying to slow the game down, this is things we do. So it's a lot of tactical information that you have to get used to get used to it, because you play a game, then they'll just say, okay, you're going to send me 3 good clips you did and 3 bad clips you do. And that's every match. So you're always getting used to that type of aspect of the game, you know? So it's good.
Yeah, that's cool.
I know from personally, because my dad actually records my games. I can tell that if he like points stuff out to me in the next game, I'm better tactically, or I'm on a breakaway more.
Yeah, exactly. Because, you know, when in the game, you don't really see things that you would see when you're from outside the game, you know? So in the game, you're like, holy, in the game, you don't see that pass, or you don't see that run, or you don't see that, hey, you're kind of slacking back on defense. You weren't tucked in with the team. But then after the game, you could watch, you're like, okay, so next time I'm here, You have to make sure, okay, I'm in this position, or when that player has to run, okay, I remember in the video session, I have to make this run. So it helps your game, it helps you learn in different aspects.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell me about your position. You played as a winger, you played as a fullback. Where do you like playing better?
To be honest, I prefer wing. That's my original position I always grew up with. But I've been playing fullback recently, and I don't mind it at all. Actually, due to how the modern game is played, fullbacks are actually used. They can be somewhat of a winger at times. So, whenever York9, if York9 needs me fullback, I'm gladly play there. If York9 needs me wing, I'll gladly play there as well, because it's helping me grow as a player, and it's helping the squad. Ultimately, that's the goal. So that's what I'm trying to be as versatile, and I'm just trying to be a student of the game, at the end of the day.
Yeah. And also, if you play like a few different positions, you will know what, with your winger, you'll know what the fullback needs. And
exactly.
If you're a fullback, you'll know what the winger needs. So it's great to have that versatility, so you know what the other needs, and that just builds chemistry and makes a better team.
Exactly. Versatility is very key in this game. You can see Alphonso Davis, if he was just a one set position player, he wouldn't have the opportunity he has now at Bayern Munich at playing left back, So it's never, I know some players may not hey, you're playing left back, or you're a winger, and then they tell you go left back. Some players are I don't want to do that. They leave the team, but you have to adapt in football, and who knows, maybe you playing left back, you're going to play way better than you ever could as a winger. You never know. And that's just the beautiful game. So being versatile and being open to learn is key.
And there's your good attitude shining through again.
Yeah, exactly.
So, so I play fullback in my league too.
And I play as a winger or a cam.
But
okay, that's good.
Yeah, but fullbacks in the modern game, at the pro level, do you find you have to run more than, is it a little bit more physically demanding than playing winger?
I would say so. It also depends on your team's playing style, but because sometimes a fullback is bombing up, making overlaps, and he may not even touch the ball, or he's making an underlap, and then the winger loses the ball, then he has to make sure he bombs back to get back into defense. Right. And imagine doing that for 90 minutes. So fullbacks, I would say, have to be probably one of the fittest, or not the fittest on the team, because you're always going up and down the line. The winger, where he's up there, he may dribble, may lose the ball, he can trap back, tuck in, so he has a little breather. Well, the fullback is sometimes in the final third with the winger, and if they lose, he has to make sure he gets his get way back, or they may score on you. So you have to run a lot as a fullback.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, the winger is tiring, but Dice told me that fullback is nothing compared to a winger.
Yeah, he is. A fullback, you're always bombing up and down the touchline.
Yeah, we don't play with fullbacks yet. We just play with a back three.
Okay, yeah.
So what kind of skill move do you what's your favorite skill move?
I like to do step overs, but my favorite, I don't really even know if it's a skill move, but body feints. I like to do a lot of body feints to get the player off balance. I think it's a good way. It's a quick, simple move that's very effective to get the defender off the front foot, get them guessing where you are, so then you can just change the direction very quickly. So step overs, anything that can get the defender off balance or second guessing what you're going to do, I like to do any of those skill moves at all.
Nice.
Yeah. The body feint is so effective, because even with the scissor, I feel like it just takes even a bit longer, but with the body feint, it's just so effective and simple.
Yeah, exactly. You it's like you're pretending. Messi shows everybody in the world, you don't need a bag of tricks to be the defender, where you think he's going one way, then he changes directions, it goes the other way, and it's one of the oldest tricks in the book, but it's still one of the best.
Yeah, and Arjen Robben, and who just came out of retirement,
exactly.
in Bayern Munich. Everybody said that you knew he was going to cut onto his left, but because of how well he feinted, you still couldn't stop him.
Exactly. He just cuts in. You think he's because the defender at the end of the day, he's he might go down the touchline, but he's he caught you. He cuts in again. Then after the next defender says, he's definitely going to go. He drops his shoulder, keeps going in. So, tricks like players like Neymar, you know, those are players that are tricksters are very key, but sometimes it's just that simple body feint. That's all you need is to be a defender.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you've obviously said a lot of your strength, like your speed, your attitude. But in your opinion, what is your biggest strength as a player?
I would probably say my mentality. Yeah, my mentality would probably be one of my strongest, you know, aside from everything, because I feel like as a player, you have to have a strong mentality, and I think I have a very good mentality.
Yeah, I think I think you have a great mentality, and I know Dai does too, just from the short time we've been talking. But I know but it's like you can just see that you have a great mentality.
Thank you.
And I also want to ask you, when did you consciously start working on your head up? Because Zaddy asked that when did you start working on your weak foot, but when did you start working with your head up?
Head up probably around 10, 11, around those ages, because, you know, like as more players started getting on the field, coaches start implementing, pick your head up. So I remember dribbling, you keep your head down because you're trying to dribble past everybody, but then after a while, you start to learn that it's just that you have to scan, or sometimes it's just that look up or that check your shoulders to know what's around you before the ball even comes to you. So I think around 9, 10, that's when I started to implement it and try little by little to get better at it at my game. Yes.
So how did you find out you got signed by York9? How did that? What's the story behind that?
Well, my agent at the time, he called me or he texted me. He's like, "How would you like the idea of playing in the CPL?" And I said, "I would love the idea. You know, it's a new league. I like it. I enjoyed last season." And he said, "Well, there may be some interest." And I said, "From who?" He said, "York9." And I said, "Well, if that's the case, then you already know I'm sold." So he said, "Okay." Then, you know, he was talking with the club, trying to get some agreements. We came to an agreement, and that's how I signed. It was during the pandemic too, so it was crazy, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you couldn't leave the house, but you could do it all by phone and
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I had to do it by text messages, emails, and phones, just using technology. But I'm happy to sign.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did I know that Gus McNabb is very much into the analytics. Obviously, he's tracking you and watching your uptick in speed happen even as we go on here. But did he talk about what like how he scouted you or what he saw in your play?
Yeah, he did an interview on one soccer, and he was just talking about how I remember he said he came down to Dallas Cup and watched a couple of my games while I was with TFC the year before this one, and he was just there watching it because he was there with my agent, and he was just watching the players, and he said that's where he saw me and everything. And I remember I played York9 in an international cup before, about 2 years ago with Juventus, and just like like a York9 select team and a Peel region select team and TFC and Juventus, and that's where I first like started playing against York9 and started seeing just everything and everything it is today.
Yeah.
And York9's a great choice. I mean, it's pretty close to home. Can't get much closer to home, eh?
Yeah, I'm happy about that. I'm happy. Yeah, it's a bonus.
Yeah. And you are one of the youngest players. So how do you think you stood out being so young?
I think I'm doing quite fine. You know, just that you have to get used to the demands of the older, more experienced players. They demand a lot from you. So you just have to make sure that, again, mentally you're up to it and just understand that they have no harm. They're just trying to get the best out of you, you know, even though it may be harsh at times. You just have to accept it. And then they come talk to you later, and they're good, you know, they're good mentors. So while I'm their youngest one, I just trying to go there and observe and absorb all their information that they're telling me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Was it tough making that transition to the pro environment?
Yeah, it had its new things, like you have to make sure that you conduct yourself properly on social media and things, but that was new to me. But it was just, you have to make sure that because now people are actually watching you, and there's people that are actually looking up to you and looking to you as a role model. So, but my past experience with TFC, where it really helped me with that transition. So some things that York9 are implementing, I've been doing 2 years with TFC. So the transition was hard, but it wasn't as hard as it may be for some people.
Mm-hmm. And you talked about how you first heard that you might first get signed by this by York9 in the CPL. But how did you first hear about the CPL? And when you first heard about the CPL, did you ever think you'd get signed?
I heard about CPL when they were promoting it. I think about 2 years or 3 years ago, where there's a lot of commercials and the open tryouts were happening. And at the time, I was just happy that Canada finally had a league for players who can actually now go through and represent Canada on a level, because CPL, I think it's a great league that is giving youth Canadian an opportunity to get exposure to the world of football. So I was really happy about the idea. And when I first heard about it, I was at TFC at the time, so I didn't think I was going to leave. But I was also always excited about the league, and I always would check up on it. And because I have a couple teammates who are playing in the league, or like players I used to train with. So I was always keeping up with the league and stuff like that.
Was York9 always your team?
I didn't really have a team. I was a neutral guy before, but I would always watch Hamilton, forge against York9, the good teams and stuff like that.
And
York9 has a pretty neat kit.
Yeah, I like it.
This came out. It's I like the colors. It's flashy.
Yeah, I like the black and green. I like it. When I first seen it, I like the colors.
Yeah, the color scheme is really nice. I think it's great that they kind of like paid tribute to all of like the 9 regions that it represents. And speaking of the kit, which do you like, the home kit or the away kit better?
Well, I like black a lot, so I'm gonna say the away kit. But both kits are amazing, but I really like the black and green. I really like how it goes together, so I would have to say the away kit's one of my favorite.
Okay.
Yeah.
How confident are you that York9 is gonna take home the North Star Shield?
I'm very confident. I think that team's meshing good. The team's looking good, and I feel like the coach is really getting the pieces together and really just getting everybody motivated. So I think we have a really good chance to win it all.
I started looking at York9 and I was like, wow, this team is really good. And I was like, yes, this team really could take home the North Star Shield.
Yeah.
And you're and you just started putting up "Take the Crown," right?
Yeah.
Hashtag, yeah.
Yeah, I saw your picture of that.
It's a cool. It's a really cool. It's a really cool like team picture.
Yeah, shout out to Rob. He was a good edit, and when I first seen it, I was impressed. So we have to take the crown. So why not make it an announcement about it?
What's the biggest strength of York9 going into the tournament?
Probably the possession. We're a very possession-based team. We're always playing, doing rondos, doing passing drills, playing small-sided possession games. So our coach is really into the possession, finding spaces, providing support for your teammates when you're in the final third, making those runs in behind. So I feel like our possession and just our discipline would be our 2 greatest strengths. Yeah. Nice.
And I also wanted to ask you, what is your favorite formation to play in?
I really like the 4-3-3.
Okay.
Yeah, I like the 4-3-3.
As a winger and as a fullback, or?
Probably as a winger, probably 4-3-3. As a fullback, it'll probably be 3-4-3.
3-4-3. Okay.
So it's like the right back is kind of as a right wing back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I also wanted to talk about the Island Games, because as you mentioned earlier that you were so excited about it back, and I'm sure everyone was jumping like we were when we saw the announcement.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to ask you, what do you think about the layout of the tournament?
I think it's a good idea. we've missed a lot of games because the league was supposed to start in April. But I feel like the layout, the format, and everything, I think it's a good. Format, and I think gives every team an equal amount of chance to make it. So there's no disadvantage or advantage. So just based on who wants it more. And yeah, so I think the format of the tournament's a very good idea.
In your opinion, who are going to be the top 4 teams going into the tournament?
Top 4 teams. York9, of course.
Yeah.
Probably Forge because they won last year. Calvary. And who else would I say? I'd probably say Pacific. Yeah.
And I also wanted to ask you, how has mindset helped you on your soccer journey?
It's helped me a lot. You know, I think that's one of the main reasons I am where I am today, because my mindset was I was always focused on what I wanted to do. A lot of my friends got distracted with things, but I always knew, like, at the end of the day, this is what I want to do. So I always kept the tunnel vision. So I think my mindset really, really helped with where I am today. So.
Yeah, and do you think your parents helped kind of keep you focused on that as well?
Yeah, they're always supportive. Always, even when you feel down, they always tell you, like, it's okay, like, just get up and keep going. You know, they're all supportive, always motivating me, always being there for me, and just being great parents. So I would have to, if they weren't there, I probably wouldn't have the mindset I have today. So I have to give thanks to them because they're always motivating me, pushing me, and just telling me that at the end of the day, like, if this is what you want, you have to. This is the nature of the sport. You know, there's going to be times you're going to be up, and there's times you're going to be down. You know, it's not everybody's going to get down. It's how you react when you get down. You know, are you going to stay there and mope, or are you going to react and make it better?
Right. Yeah. It sounds like you got some parents that have some good heads on their shoulders.
Yeah, they do, for sure.
Good.
Yeah, with great advice.
Yes.
So I noticed on Instagram you had a picture of you posted a picture recently of Haile Selassie. So yeah, what does that mean to you?
Well, basically, I'm a Rastafarian. So both my parents are Rastafarian. My whole family is Rastafarian. So Haile Selassie he's like a model of inspiration. You know, where sometimes when you're feeling down, you can just think, like, you know what, like, this man had to go through so much more, you know, where you feel angry. He had his emotions intact. Where Ethiopia got attacked by Italy, he was never angry. He never reacted off emotions. He was also always reacting off logic. So sometimes when I'm angry and I'm feeling distressed or stressed, it'll just calm down, think about it, relax. What's the solution? So he's more of like a role model, and as a person you can see as like I would say as like an ideal person where you can just to go to as inspiration as a person, as if you want to improve in anything, you know?
Yeah. I don't know all that much about him, but I do know that Bob Marley based the lyrics of War on that speech that he gave to the United Nations, and that was always one of my just that was just an amazing amazing thing that he put together there. Yeah, so let's talk about diet. Like, do you follow a specific diet?
Yeah, I don't eat meat at all. I'm actually vegetarian or pescatarian, you can say.
Okay.
So I eat fish, but I don't eat any poultry or any of sorts. So I can eat dairy, but that's my diet. I try to eat a lot of fish to get that protein. Eat a lot of nuts to get that protein. I like to make a lot of smoothies. And yeah, my diet's a lot of natural, where my parents are very into the natural eating. So I'd eat a lot of plants, greens, spinach. Those are always in my diet growing up. So growing as I am now, I still have those things with me to this day. So my diet would be a lot of natural lifestyle.
And what is your favorite nut, and what is your favorite fish kind? Like, what is your favorite kind of nut and fish?
My favorite nut is almonds. I love almonds.
Okay. Yeah, they have a nice crunch.
Yeah, I like them. And my favorite fish It's a Jamaican fish. Well, it's very popular in Jamaica. It's called red snapper. I love that fish.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Red snapper. I love red snapper. I love when my mom and my grandma makes it. It's amazing.
Nice.
Yeah. I feel like I've had red snapper, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, if you've been to Jamaica, it's all over the place. If you can, every restaurant, any tourist place, red snapper is always going to be on the menu. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's interesting because we interviewed Matthew Arnone, who you know, right? And and he's a vegetarian as well. Well, I know you're pescatarian, which is a little bit different, but yeah. So it's interesting.
And we also interviewed Alex DeCareless, who was a pescatarian.
Yeah, he's a pescatarian too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's interesting because a lot of people have the idea that you need to eat a lot of meat and protein, and it's just not really the case. It kind of depends on different people.
I feel like meat, of course, has protein, but it's not the only food of source of protein. Where nuts have a lot of protein. You can get protein from fish. You can get protein from plants as well. So it's not like meat is the only type of meal with protein added. So you can get other things, that I feel like are beneficial for my body and things that my body reacts best to. It's all about your body and how it reacts to certain things, so you have to test certain things, how your body reacts to it. You get more energy when you do this. Do you feel better when you do this? So when you learn your body, you understand your body, it's easier to know what's best for it.
Mm-hmm.
And how about water? Like, do you consciously have to drink a lot of water, or is that just natural for you?
Yeah, I drink a lot of water consciously. I think it just comes natural because, my parents are always about drinking water, that it's good for you. So I'd always, when you're thirsty, you drink water. I think juice is more like as a treat, where you kind of just use it as a quench thirster. I think water's the best, and water's good for you. Just water, any sort of water, coconut water. So I just make sure, I think every day I try to make sure I drink at least a full bottle of water, those 1.5 liters at least. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Nice.
I try and drink a lot of coconut water, and something that's great about coconut water is that it's just so refreshing. It has a lot of like electrolytes, and it's just really refreshing.
Yeah, they say if coconut cleanses the heart, coconut water cleanses the heart. So I think I love coconut water. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And what is one skill that you've been working on in the past 12 months, and what is one skill that you want to work on in the next 12 months?
A skill I've been working on, like skill move, or like any technical? Like
any part of your game. It could be mental, tactical, technical.
I've been trying to work on my heading. My heading is not the best. I'm not the best at heading, so I'm just trying to work on my heading. And something I'll probably want to work on in the next 12 months is probably put a little bit more mass, more muscle, because I'm a lean guy, so probably put more muscle, more mass on my body.
And I think that's pretty good. What kind of advice would you give to young players that want to kind of get to the pro level like you're doing right now?
And advice would be keep going. If this is what you want, keep going. There's going to be days where you're going to want to quit. There's going to be days where it's like it's not looking good or it's looking gloomy. But if this is what you want, you have to go through that dark hour, go through that dark period and just pick yourself up and keep going. It's a rough road, but if you really love the game, then you have to get through it. You have to go through it, push through it, because it's not gonna be all love and dandies. You may see like the stuff that come with it after the hard work, but there's a lot of hard work that's done behind the closed doors. So my advice would be keep going, keep pushing yourself, and never be content with where you are. Always keep trying to aim for the new height. Yeah.
That's great advice. And I also wanted to ask you, what would you say is the best advice a coach has given you?
The best advice a coach has ever given me? It would probably be Danny Dicchio. One time we're in a meeting, and this is when I first joined the TFC, and it was very hard for me to transition. I wasn't used to the coming an hour before training and just the whole diet thing and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And he came down to me and he said, if this is really what you want in life, if you really want to become a professional footballer, then you're going to have to give your all to the game. You can't become a professional footballer and put 50% in or put 25% in and think you're going to get it. You know, it's either you're all in or you're all out. So I think that's the best advice he gave me. And after that, you just have to decide within yourself, like, yeah, this is for me, and I'm gonna go all in.
Do you have any more questions, Zai? Because if not, maybe we should go into the rapid fire.
Yeah, let's do the rapid fire.
Okay, are you ready, Ijah?
I'm ready.
Okay. Do you play FIFA?
Yes.
Xbox or PS4?
PS4.
Okay. Who do you support soccer team? As a
Barcelona.
soccer team?
Barcelona. Yeah.
And what's your favorite fruit?
Fruits, peach.
Okay. And what's your favorite vegetable?
Vegetable. I love broccoli.
Okay. And peach is really nice. It's really nice and
Yeah, I love
juicy.
But peaches, if they're not in season, they're a little hard to eat.
Yeah.
I find it, but yeah.
And do you have a nickname?
No, not really. Just call me Ijah. That's all.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what is one super power that you would like to have?
Super speed.
Okay, super speed.
You already got that.
And you could become one of the fastest players in the world, even though you are fast. You could just go like a bit higher than a Adama Traore, and
Yeah,
then
hopefully. Yeah.
a bit faster than a Adama Traore.
Yes.
You totally wouldn't get around all of the defenders that you faced.
Yeah, he's super fast. Adama Traore he's too quick. It's unreal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And is there a quote that you live by or really like?
A quote I live by that I really like. I think it's my favorite quotes from my mom. You know, it's not where you are, it's where you're headed.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what genre of music do you really like right now?
I like hip hop. I like rap. I like R&B, and I actually like classical music. I like to listen to classical music.
Okay. And we've talked about what genres you like, but now what is your favorite song?
My favorite song would probably be song right now, "What's Poppin'" by Jack Harlow and
Okay.
the Baby, Lil Wayne, and those guys. Yeah.
Okay. I haven't heard that, but we should
Yeah.
check it out. And who is your favorite Pokemon?
Favorite Pokemon, Arceus.
He's an awesome Pokemon.
Yeah, he's the Sinnoh, the legendary Pokemon in Sinnoh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you play an instrument?
No, I don't play an instrument.
Okay. And favorite subject in school?
History.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, history is it's my favorite too. And what's your favorite movie?
Lion King.
Lion King? Nice.
Yeah.
I like that one.
Yeah,
too.
I love Lion King.
Have you seen the one with actual animals, like not animated?
Yeah, I've seen it, but I kind of like the animated one a little bit better. Maybe because it's the first one I watched.
Yeah, I like the animated one better too.
Yeah.
I just found it interesting to see real animals playing the parts.
Yeah, it was good. It was interesting, but at the end of the day, I'm like, animated ones, I still like it.
Yeah, animated is great.
Yeah.
And what's your favorite board game?
It's a Jamaican board game called Ludi.
Okay.
Yeah,
we have
Ludi.
to check that out. I'm a huge board game fan, and I love to learn about new board games that I could try.
Yeah, it's like Trouble.
Trouble? Oh, okay. Yeah, Trouble is fun.
Yeah, it's like Trouble.
Yeah. Why it's so fun is because it's really annoying when you get troubled, but it's kind of fun to trouble someone else.
Exactly. Yeah.
And what's your favorite pastime?
I I like to watch Netflix, watch movies, and just watch shows, binge watch. I like to binge watch.
Okay. And what's your favorite TV show to binge watch?
Friends.
Friends. Okay, I haven't seen that one.
Yeah.
And 3 words to define you.
Confident, different, and hungry.
Okay.
Nice.
And what? This is my last rapid fire question and kind of like a closing up question.
Okay.
But what are your goals for the future?
My goals for the future is hopefully play in Europe professionally, like in a top level in Europe. That's my my main goal in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a club preference?
No, not really, not right now. But of course, you hope you want to play for your favorite team. But
So Barcelona?
yeah, maybe one day.
Yeah. And I just want to say thank you so much for coming on, Ijah. We really appreciate it, and we loved all your answers.
No, thank you for having me. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, we're definitely going to be looking forward to seeing you play, you and the Nine Stripes out in PEI.
Yeah, hopefully we represent and we do well.
And you guys get to play. It should be a lot of fun, and it'll be a lot of fun for us to watch. Really appreciate your attitude and the thought that you've given to some of these questions, and we really appreciate your time.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. I appreciate this. Appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming on.
All right, take care.
Bye.
No problem. Bye.